Good morning, BMHS. Welcome to the third week of our February BMHS news. To start it off, let's take it to the weatherman. So Robert, do you know the difference between any of the cameras that we own? Boy, that weather this week sure is great. Well, let's send it away to a group that can tell you all about it.
Good morning, BMHS News. I'm your host, Josh Weaver, and today we're going to be reviewing some cameras that have been used in the past by the BMHS News. So, the first camera we have here is the Panasonic AG DVC-7. This camera, as old as it may be, does actually have a sensor inside, and the sensor in this camera is 6.1 megapixels. That means this camera can record with 6.1 million pixels. This camera doesn't record digitally though. If you click this switch here, this camera records with tapes. These tapes, on average, can record around 2 hours of footage and are a pain to get back in. So our second camera here is the JVC Averion camcorder. This camera records to little SD cards. Now this SD card is about 8 gigabytes. That's all you need for these camcorders because they don't record in that high quality. Because this camera has a 10.3 megapixel camera. This 10.3 megapixel camera drastically improves the rate at which we can upload and edit our news. Because of the SD cards, it made it easier to get our videos off of the camera and onto the computer so we could edit them. Now, 10.3 megapixels may sound drastic compared to our old camera, but even compared to the newer iPhone XRs, that's only about a 1.7 megapixel difference. The iPhone XR's back camera only shoots in about 12 megapixels, so 12 million pixels. Oh, we have the Nikon D7500 DSLR camera. This camera here is one of our newer cameras that we've used up until about last year. This camera can record in 20.9 megapixels. That's 20.9 million pixels. This camera is tried and true. It also uses these SD cards, which make editing and uploading the news a lot faster. But these cameras also have USB ports. So now you don't even have to remove the SD card from the camera. You can just plug this directly up into your computer and pull the video straight off the camera. Last but not least, we have the Blackmagic Design 4K studio camera. This camera is our newest addition to the news team. With this camera being able to record in 4K at 60 frames a second, it supports a 21.3 megapixel camera. So that's 21.3 million pixels this camera records with. Now, this camera, unlike its predecessors, doesn't use an SD card. With this, you have to upload onto an external drive via these USB-C ports. Now, some may think that's harder, but more storage can actually be better. That means we're able to record in higher quality, do less cuts, and record more videos. Now, to wrap it all up, we're going to interview Miss Purcell, our news team leader.
So from 2005 to now, we've gone through an evolution of these cameras since I started teaching multimedia here. And so the quality is what I can tell you has been the biggest change. From this being on tape to finally starting to record on memory with these cameras, the quality is the biggest difference. Also, from like filming with these, you had to, basically, it took you as long as it took you to record to get it onto the computer. So it was like copying from one tape onto the computer. Where these, you just upload them like a jump drive kind of, and so they can be almost instantaneous to get them to the computers.
Never really know what's going on. sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show.
And that's all we have for now, BMHS News. Until then, signing off. Hey Robert, do you know the difference between any camera that we have?
Boy, that weather sure was
You're a genius. So did you watch the Super Bowl next week?
What if SpongeBob was in real life?
So come in out and support our Lady Bombers. That's all for us, BMHS News. Signing off.
I thought they were scared.